In this video, we'll talk about epithelial tissue. So this is one of the four types of tissue that we see in the human body. So epithelial tissue is found all throughout the body, and there are going to be various functions associated with it. But there are some specific characteristics for epithelial tissue that I want to go over. So the first one is polarity, and you may recognize that term from the chemistry chapter, but this is going to be a little bit different than that polarity. Polarity here, and I'm going to go to the next slide to show you, but polarity means that the cells, the epithelial cells, there is going to be an attached surface and a free surface. So the free surface is referred to as the apical surface, and then the surface that's attached to an underlying membrane is referred to as the basal surface. So we will go to the next slide, possibly. Okay, so here, and this is showing you just a flat sheet of epithelial cells, but we have the apical surface that is going to be free. It's not attached to anything. And then the basal surface is going to be attached to an underlying membrane. We see this in the lining of tissues specifically. So like with the stomach has a lining of epithelial tissue, and the apical surface is going to face the lumen or the center, the hollow part of the organ, whereas the basal surface will be attached to an underlying membrane. We also see it with the skin. So in the integumentary system, we'll see the epidermis. The epidermis is the outermost part of our skin that faces the external environment. So the apical surface, the free surface, faces the external environment, and then the basal surface of the epidermis will be attached to an underlying tissue called the dermis. So we will see that when we get to the integumentary system. As far as the cells themselves, so epithelial cells, they fit closely together. So there's not very much space between the two cells. And there are specific cellular junctions between those cells, but that's for a different topic. But what we end up with is a sheet of these cells. So you just think about your epidermis. Like I said, your epidermis is epithelial tissue, and it forms this sheet of cells that are very tightly, closely fitted together that form that sheet, that outermost covering of our skin. Epithelial tissue will be connected by, or will be supported by connective tissue. And so that basal surface of the epithelial cells will be attached to a layer of connective tissue. So the connective tissue will be underneath. It'll be at the basal surface of the epithelial tissue. So again, another example with our skin, we have that epidermis. That's the outermost layer. That's the epithelial tissue, and it's connected to the dermis. The basal surface of the epithelial cells are connected to the dermis, and the dermis is a connective tissue. So epithelial tissue will always be connected by connective tissue. Epithelial tissue is avascular, meaning that there is no blood supply. So all of the nutrition that goes to the epithelial cells will be provided by that underlying dermal layer, or underlying connective tissue layer. Regeneration, epithelial cells can undergo mitosis, and so they can regenerate as long as they are properly nourished. And this will make more sense when we get to the integumentary system. You can see that the epithelial cells that are closest to the dermis and are nourished by the underlying connective tissue, they will be able to undergo mitosis. They will be able to regenerate. But as the cells move away from the connective tissue and away from their source of nourishment, then those cells will not be able to regenerate. There are various shapes of epithelial cells, and we'll look at that on the next slide. There are squamous, which are sort of flat scale-like cells, cuboidal, that are sort of box shaped, and then columnar, which are sort of rectangular in shape. And the arrangement of these cells, you can have one layer, which would be simple, and we'll look at that on the next slide. You can have pseudostratified, where it looks like there are multiple layers of the cells, but there's actually only one layer. And then stratified, where you have multiple layers of epithelial cells. So here we can see the different types, and we can see everything except for the pseudostratified, but we already talked about the polarity. So you have the free surface of the epithelial cells, and then the basal surface that are going to be connected to an underlying layer of connective tissue. So this pink purplish area, that's connective tissue, and that is going to be connected to the basal surface of the overlying epithelial tissue. Then we have stratified. So this is just one cell layer. So just one cell layer. So that would be an example of simple. Okay. And then we have on this next picture, you have multiple layers of epithelial cells. So this would be stratified. There are multiple layers of epithelial cells. You still have the cells that are at the top that are not attached to anything. Those would have a free surface. That's the apical surface. And then the cells at the very bottom are attached to the underlying connective tissue. So that would be the basal surface. But where you see multiple layers of epithelial cells, that is stratified. Now, what we do not see on this slide is pseudostratified. So pseudostratified appears to be more than one layer of epithelial cells, but there's actually only one layer. So if you pick a few different cells that you're looking at, and you find the apical surface, so that free surface, and then follow the cell down to its basal surface to where it's connected to the underlying connective tissue, then you will see that there's actually only one cell layer. And that is what pseudostratified. And the reason it looks pseudostratified is because the nuclei will be in different layers. Okay, so they will appear to be in different layers. But again, if you follow the apical surface all the way to the basal surface, you'll see that there's only one layer of cells. Then here we have the different shapes. So we have the squamous cells that are sort of flat in nature. They sort of look like scales. And how I describe the image, the histological image of squamous cells, is that if you're looking down on them, so like if you're looking from the top, they look like little fried eggs. Okay, and if we were actually in the lab, we would do or you probably would have done for the microscopy lab, you would have done a cheek smear and looked at the cheek cells under the microscope, and they are an example of simple squamous epithelium, and you would see that they look sort of like little fried eggs. Then we have cuboidal. So cuboidal epithelial cells are sort of square shaped. Okay, they're box shaped. They're almost have all equal sides, but they're almost like a square, a little square. And then columnar, the cells are longer than they are wide, so there's like a little rectangle. So that's where that name comes from. So this is the top is classification based on the number of cell layers, and then the second classification is based on cell shape. So when you see epithelial tissue, you will see that it is named by the number of cell layers and the cell shape. So for example, you will have pseudostratified columnar epithelium, or simple cuboidal, or stratified squamous, or simple squamous. So it will use both of those names. The only difference is with transitional epithelium. Transitional epithelium is an example of stratified epithelium, but the cells are unique in nature because they can change shapes. And we'll talk about that when we look at an image of it. So here is another illustration that shows you how we utilize both the name of the shape of the cell. So over on the left-hand side, this is shape. And then on the right hand of the table, this is going to be the number of cell layers. So whether it's simple, stratified, or pseudostratified. So pseudostratified, which was the only one we didn't really see on the previous slide, pseudostratified, you can see it looks like there's different layers because the nuclei are stratified. But if you follow if you get one cell, if you follow the apical surface all the way to the basal surface, you will see that there's only one cell layer there. So that's why it's pseudostratified. Pseudo means false. So it looks like it's stratified, but it's not. Okay, so the different types of epithelium, we have simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar, pseudostratified columnar, stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar, and transitional. And you should be able to identify all of these different types by looking at a histological image of them. And you should be able to give a representative location and function for each type of tissue that you see. And since I am running low on time, I am going to pick back up with these histological images in the next video.